Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lifetime Remedy for Health. This is Justin, along with Kimber, and it is from where I'm at, it is a gloomy Wednesday. Very dark, very cloudy. Looks really bright at Kimber's place, but
It's
speaking about
bright but cold, I will say.
it is. Speaking about light, I think it's time to shine some light on a topic called parasites.
Yes.
Parasites. We think of parasites. We think of things that attach to your dogs or something, your animals, your pets. Never really think about humans, do we?
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Yes, parasites can be in humans. I am a host of one of them myself. I will say it. I don't say it proudly, but I admit it. Um, but we're gonna really tackle into this.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's something to know. It has been said that if you have a pulse, you have a parasite.
How
Uh,
about that?
so, if you're wondering if you have a parasite, just see if you have a pulse, and then you probably do have a parasite. Now, the big question is whether or not this parasite is causing you problems, right? And oftentimes we think about a parasite of what is so bad about parasites, right? We have stomach acid. We have our bodies are designed to be able to rid them. Um, it's no surprise. I mean, think about our ancestors. They had to have had parasites as well. I mean, think of, the way that
Yeah.
they ate, the way that they lived, right? But our bodies are amazingly made that it is supposed to be able to kill off these parasites and they move right through our system. But what happens is that we live in a situation of stress, whether that's work stress, environment stress, food stress, mental stress, physical stress, emotional stress. And stress breaks our body down and it makes our bodies not work as proper as they need to work. And so what happens is that these parasites that are supposed to get, die and be evacuated out of our bodies are not being killed and they are taking up residence in our body. And so then we run into some problems. And so um, you might be tuning in and you might be wondering, do I have a parasite? Or is it even possible to have a parasite? What are some of the causes or what are some of the symptoms that you have with a parasite? So I'm going to get into that topic today and share with you a little bit about that. But before we do, Justin, do you know what is coming up on April 26th?
Well, I watched Van Helsing last night, and I think there's a full moon. I'm not sure.
There is a full moon. It is actually called the pink moon, which has nothing to do with parasites, whether the moon is pink. Last month was actually a worm moon. So, how appropriate is that, right? But
Disgusting.
I know it is disgusting. But I want to tell you that you may or may not have thought it's superstitious that all the Goonies come out at the full moon. But what really is true is the full moon does change our circadian rhythm. Um, our melatonin supply actually goes down, and our serotonin increases during a full moon time period. So you might have things like insomnia or restless nights, and that's simply because you don't have enough melatonin. And just a little branch here, you could try taking some additional melatonin during that time period. It might help you sleep a bit better. But what other thing happens is that parasites actually become more active. Parasites love serotonin. Serotonin is fuel for parasites. And so when these parasites become more active, you can have more gut issues, more brain issues, more headaches. You can have a lot of disturbances, and they act up. So be aware that the full moon is on the way, and the parasites that are living in you. Again, if you have a pulse, you have a parasite. Can become more active. So you can kind of watch for some of those things to happen. Um, But I want to share with you just a little bit about what parasites are. So, Justin, did you know that there's actually three main classes of parasites?
If you want me to answer them, I have no idea. So,
Okay. So they are called the protozoas are the first. Then there's helminths, and helminths are actually the worms. Protozoas are more of the bacteria. So the protozoas are the types that cause malaria and giardia, those types of illnesses, right? Chronic diarrhea, gut gastrointestinal issues with those types. Helminths are the worms, right? So believe it or not, you could potentially have worms or helminths living inside of your system and really wreaking havoc. And then there's ectoparasites. Now, ectoparasites, we're all familiar with. Grade school, you probably knew someone if or was around lice. Lice is an ectoparasite. Scabies, that's an ectoparasite. So those are the three main classes of parasites. So I'm not going to really dive too deeply into protozoa. Like I said, protozoa is commonly like giardia or malaria. Those are your two common protozoas. They're single-celled organisms that actually can multiply inside us. And we typically pick them up from contaminated food or contaminated water, things like that. So if you are a world traveler, you can experience a protozoa type of outbreak at some time or another. With a protozoa infection, typically you have issues in your small bowel, cramps, fatigue, weight loss, you can have some weakness, chronic diarrhea, those types of things. Now the great news is that all the parasites that we're talking about can all be killed in a parasite cleanse or parasite protocol. So that is great news. And so we have this little saying, better out than in when we go through that, right? Better out than in.
yeah.
So helminths, helminths are interesting. Their common name is worms, right? And they are visible to the naked eye. I actually, I think that you gave me control. Did you give me
I
control?
did. It's all you.
All right. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to share with you a picture of a helminth, if I can get there. 1 second. All right. Um, now, this is
Dear
actually,
God.
yep, this is actually an actual picture, an endoscopic picture. This particular person has pinworms, which is a variety of a helminth or a worm. Now, what I want you to notice in this picture, and this is what makes parasites so difficult to detect through testing, is that unless they are actively living outside of the mucosal wall, and in the gut, it's very difficult to pick them up through a gut test. As you can see, these are behind the mucosal layer. And so what happens then is it makes it that mucosal layer acts as a blanket protecting them and not allowing them to be picked up from a normal stool test. Now, I do a lot of GI MAP tests, which is a gastrointestinal test. And oftentimes we do test for helminths. We test for about 7 different helminths. But we have to catch them just right. We have to catch them not behind the mucosal wall. We have to catch them in the gut because worms are able, and parasites are able to get into the bloodstream and actually go into your joints or your brain or your other areas, your lungs of the body. And so therefore they would not necessarily show up on our GI map. In this case, you can clearly see that they are behind the mucosal wall. And we've got some egg sacs that are just lying there free and dormant. So one of the things that we do when we do a parasite cleanse is we use a scrubber to scrub away the mucosal lining right here that you see and get behind to these types of worms in this case. Most other, uh, if you ever do a parasite cleanse without a scrubbing mechanism, an herb or a supplement of some sort to scrub, you can rid of the egg sacs, but you're going to still be stuck behind that mucosal lining. Okay, so really, when we do a parasite cleanse, when I work with someone on that, I make sure to use that scrubber, and I make sure to use 3 different types of tinctures and supplements, Chinese herbs particularly, that actually kill and eradicate these types of worms. Okay, so so I wanted to share that image with you because I think it puts it all into perspective and it helps to understand what you're really dealing with in that case. When it
Wow.
comes to that. Interesting, isn't it?
That was. I think I gotta cancel my food for 7. Hold on. That was something. That was, well, but it's true. Like, people don't see that. Like, that looks like a bad case. So that looks like a really bad case of someone who has
Yeah.
the kind of parasite.
Yeah, and and actually that slide is a 53-year-old gentleman that was struggling with uh, gut issues, chronic diarrhea, bloating, gut pain, and whatnot.
God bless them. So you have parasites like that in your system. You talked about how you use some herbs and everything, how that could help. How it will kill them.
Yeah,
What's the time frame for something like that? Say we'll take this guy's case for like a 53-year-old man for what we just saw. What's the time frame for this guy to get better with taking these herb stuff? How long do you see it?
yeah, that's a great question, and that's such an individual question. It really depends upon how long they've been there, how deep they are in that mucosal lining. Um, typically what we will do is when I'm working with someone new on a parasite cleanse, I'll get you started and we'll work somewhat slowly. We also don't want to create what's called a Herxheimer reaction, which is your body reacting to the toxins of the dead parasites. So we go a little slower, and slow and steady wins the race, right? For some people, it can take up to a year to detox from parasites. Um, and and others, it's just a few months. It really just depends on, again, the condition of the body. And I work pretty close with that,
Yeah.
and watch. Mhm.
So this gentleman has. Well, I'm just say it worms. It looks like worms. I mean, that's basically what it looked like. So
It's called.
things. So part one of my question is that egg sac that you showed on this screen right here. Now, is that particular to like there's more worms in there, or is it just those worms came from that?
Um,
Detailed.
that's a great question. I don't have the I don't know on that one. I didn't get all the
Right.
details on that
Oh,
particular
that's
one.
okay.
But I can tell you that um, that's what makes it difficult. If you go to your MD, your Western medicine, and you get an antibiotic to eradicate the worms, here's a couple things that are going to happen. First of all, you're going to eradicate only what you can see. You cannot eradicate those parasites that are embedded in that mucosal lining
Yeah.
through an antibiotic. You absolutely have to have something that's, shown to scrub the gut. I like Mimosa pudica for that, to scrub the gut so that you can actually get down into those layers. An antibiotic will not do that. So, although the antibiotic will kill a live worm or helminth that's within the body, it is not The other thing is, oftentimes an antibiotic will not kill the larva or the egg sacs. So you go on an antibiotic for a short term, you eradicate what was living and what was susceptible to it, and then all of a sudden you feel a little better, but then all of a sudden you have another outbreak because you have not stayed on it long enough. Typically I do say most people have to stay on a parasite cleanse for at least a month, if not 3 months, if there's active parasites that you are expelling.
So, okay, so there's part one of that. Great answer. The second part is how dangerous can these parasites become left untreated?
Yeah. So they can be dangerous, right? Um, Very simply, many of the helminths, they can bury their heads or their bodies into your gut lining, creating little microscopic holes, um, which cause leaky gut. Now,
Mm,
leaky gut is an issue because what happens if your gut becomes leaky, then even good things like good foods will seep through those holes, so microscopic holes, and get into your bloodstream. Well, you have fighters, antibodies in your bloodstream, and that food particle is a foreign invader. So that those antibodies are going to come and attack that food particle, and all of a sudden now you start to develop more and more food sensitivities. Well, that leads me into that next thing. Are a great sign of parasite infection is you're starting to develop more and more food sensitivities, chemical sensitivities, things like that. Things are hitting you worse, and you can't eat the way you used to eat, or smells are becoming worse and stronger. So those are that's a really good sign that you may be having um, a parasite infestation. So microscopic holes, leaky gut, um, diarrhea, we talked about that, chronic diarrhea, malnutrition. I mean, it can really make you very sick, bloating, but not to mention, you can also, now parasites can travel. They can get into your joints, your ankles, your knees. They can very much cause joint pain and inflammation. They can get into your kidneys, your liver, and your gallbladder. Matter of fact, liver flukes can live in the liver, and guess what they do? They eat the liver.
that's an awful image to even think about. I'm gonna be honest with you, that frightens me.
It is. Now, the liver regenerates itself. It's the only organ that we have that does do that. So it's not like they're going to eat it, so we have no liver. However, it is an issue. And oftentimes, gallbladders will go bad because you have flukes. You'll have pancreatitis attacks because you have flukes. You have issues. Here's another. There's a lot of studies that will show that neurological diseases like seizures, even schizophrenia or bipolar, um, you know, there's a lot of case studies out there showing that it is actual neurological parasites, and to treat those will to calm down and relieve that particular client or patient of those issues.
My, I, baffled beyond belief. And
Exactly.
so, I guess one of my final questions is, how does one simply gain a parasite? Like, how does one simply gain one?
Yeah. Well, typically parasites are transmitted one of two ways: through touch, for touching something. If somebody has not washed their hands properly after they have gone to the bathroom, there's more reasons for those signs in public restrooms than we can even imagine, right? Um, and then they go and they make your food, or they touch your food, or it can just happen. Kids can easily get parasites. They can, they are transmitted through bodily fluid. Okay, sexually, you can actually transmit parasites sexually as well. Now, that's not a sexually transmitted disease. It's a bodily fluid that you are sharing and transmitting a parasite into. Um, Pregnant mamas, they can actually give their the baby and the embryo. They can actually have pass a parasite. Not too long ago, a practitioner friend of mine shared a picture of a woman whose water had broken, and the in the water, in the broken water, laying on the sheet was a full worm, roundworm.
Oh my God.
So you wonder what that child's going to think growing up. They're either going to
That,
love,
that's,
love worms and snakes, or they're going to hate them, right? One way or
oh
another.
my God. That's awful.
Problem is that the parasites have toxins, and so they make you sick. And you know, there is actually more to that story with that child now really needed to be detoxed at birth.
Wow. I'm just trying to get used to my new surroundings, and this kid's we're already worrying about detox. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
I mean, and that goes to show that there's more to learn about the human body than we could ever imagine.
Well, exactly. And I think the thing that we have to remember is there's more reasons to live and strive to live your healthiest lifestyle and strive to be as healthy as you can be. Again,
Yeah.
I want to reiterate, although it is about 1 in every 2 people have a parasite, that's the ratio. Um, it doesn't have to be you if you have a healthy gut. It doesn't have to be you if you take proper sanitary measures. Wash your hands. I mean, we're hearing a lot of that right now, but there's more reasons. Wash your hands, wash your fruits and vegetables. Um, should be choosy about the meats that you purchase.
Yeah.
Um, make wise decisions for yourself, and you will help yourself in more ways than you want. Don't eat raw meat. My grandfather was notorious for coming in and getting a pinch of hamburger, raw hamburger, and eating it. And I
Yeah.
about him and what was living within him. I mean, he had to have had parasites, right?
Oh my gosh.
You know,
My grandmother did the same thing.
and here's the thing: if they're still alive and those parasites took effect, my grandfather doesn't happen to be still living, but if he was still alive, I'd do a parasite cleanse with him.
Yeah.
Because even as a child, if I was 10 years old, I never did take any of the raw hamburger. But as a child at 10 years old, I easy was offered it, couldn't stomach it. If I had done it then, I easy could have taken in a parasite, and that parasite could be living with me still now, right? Because parasites, some die, but some live with you for a long time.
Yeah. And better, what's the word? Better out than in? Yes.
Better out than in.
I feel
Yeah,
like that's a Shrek movie quote, but it is. It might be.
it could be. It could
Yeah.
be.
So this is great. So if you guys are at this part of the podcast right now, we're gonna do a little test with you, a little quick quizaroo. And it is, do you remember what Kimber said in the beginning about April 26th? Why was that significant? Why was it the pink moon, or why was that doesn't matter what color moon is. Why was the moon significant? Well, I think it's time to give you a little heads up what next week's special is going to be. So, we think that you guys are great. You guys show that you're great. I see you guys. I get messages from you. Literally every day I get messages. I even get some of them at 5 in the morning when I'm still sleeping. Don't bother me at 5. But no, it's all right. So we decided, let's help you out a little bit. Let's do a parasite cleanse. Perfect topic. So what we're going to be doing is, in the Gallbladder group forum, we we truly do invite you to participate in this. You get your own kit, which I'll have Kimber explain in a second. And then we're going to create a video step by step of what to do to cleanse a parasite. And maybe some of you that think it's one thing might actually get results. I hope you don't, but you might. And this is something that can be beneficial for you. And I'll let Kimber talk about the kit right now. But that's one of 2 surprises that we have for you for next week. All right. So Kimber, I'll let you talk about the kit.
Right. So, it's best to do a parasite cleanse over a full moon. And so, what we're going to do is we'd like to invite you to join a parasite cleanse challenge, and join a group. In this group, you'll have an opportunity to get a discount on a parasite cleanse kit, which would have 4 products. That scrubber, that scrubber, like I mentioned to you, and then 2 actual herbs, tinctures, supplements of herbs, Chinese herbs that are known to kill and eradicate parasites, and then a binder that's going to mop it all up and usher it out your stool. And so we're going to start this cleanse um, on I forgot the day, but
April 26th. Oh,
24th, 5th, 25th.
yes.
We're going to start it on the 25th or the 24th. I can't remember, Justin. Anyway,
Yeah, 25th.
25th. If you're interested in being a part of this challenge, this Parasite Cleanse challenge, you'll want to reach out and let us know. So you'll get a discount on the kit. You'll get to be in a special group and direct access to myself and the team. Justin will be a part of it. And I think Buddy is going to be a part of it with us as well.
Yep.
And so you can direct message us if this is, asking questions. Is this normal? Should I be feeling this way? I'm seeing this. Now this is going to start on the 25th, but it's going to last through the full moon, which is the 26th, like we mentioned, and it will last about 3 weeks. So it's a great way to get on top of those parasites that might be wreaking havoc in your life. And real quick, I do just want to say, in case you're wondering if you have parasites, I want to give you a couple of things to look for. Number 1, do you grind your teeth? Do you grind your teeth at night? Or do you bite your nails? Believe it or not, those are parasite symptoms, right? There's many. I'm just giving you a couple just so you can kind of ask yourself if this isn't happens to be an issue for you. Parallel lines on the bottoms of your feet, on the soles of your feet, believe it or not. Do you have abdominal issues that you just cannot seem to get on top of, either constant constipation, diarrhea, whatever it might be? Do you toss and turn? You have restless sleep. You can't seem to get on top of that. Do you have night sweats that are not hormonal related? How about your kids? Anybody have kids out there that are bedwetting that should not be bedwetting yet? Maybe they're old enough not to have that. Definitely potential for parasites right there. Are you hungry all the time? You are just a bottomless pit. You're hungry after meals. You cannot seem to get full. That's another thing. Definitely is a sign of parasites. Drooling while you sleep, dry lips, all parasite related. So
Wow.
there's some questions you can ask yourself amongst many others that we look at. And so when we work together, I will ask a series of questions. And what I'm looking for is your body. I'm looking for symptoms that your body is telling so that we can be aware and rise up and eradicate and get to the problem, the root core of what's causing you to be sick.
Yeah. So this is a good opportunity for anyone to, to check out. You do this cleanse, you find out, wow, I have parasites, and either you go, I feel better, or you know what, maybe I want to investigate more. It's your body, your health, it's your only home, so take care of it. The good thing is you have Kimber for those couple weeks to help you out with this, talk you through it. I'll be on there and I'll just be, hooray, you're a cheerleader, and then you have Buddy too. But the good thing is, if you need more, you want to know more about your body, Kimber is right there for. So besides that, you get the 30-minute consultation for free too. So it's a 2-for-1 deal. Technically, it's not. like I said, it's free. All you have to do is just buy the discounted kit. If you want to do it, you can. We're not forcing you to do anything. This is just something we're trying to help you guys out just to get, an opportunity on. That's all we ever want in life is opportunities. So
Right.
you can do that for either or. And then you feel like you need to do more, Kimber's right there. And you can literally click it and then fill out your form and get that free 30-minute consultation. What's the point, And she will know basically have a good foundation of, you know what, you had a parasite. You might have a little more going on in there. So it's kind of like it helps both you guys out. So that's good. And we also will have another special episode for you guys. I'm not gonna give you too much on that right now. Let's just say we're gonna have something with what did you say, emotions and how they play out.
Yeah. Your emotions and how they affect your health. So
Yeah.
next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to have a guest, Tara Anderson. She has been an acupuncturist and nutrition, into nutrition and emotional release and all for over 20 years. And she's going to be a guest and jump on and just talk to us about how emotions affect your health.
How about that? I'm sure you guys are all an emotional roller coaster, and if not, awesome. I wish I was like you. But so I can't talk. Two good things coming out. You got the parasite cleanse, which would be great, and then you guys will also have a guest speaker with us talking about how this could be playing a role. What a week it's gonna be for you guys. So it's excellent. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm gonna be looking for all you guys to be in that chat, talking with us, chatting with us. I'm looking for my phone to blow up with questions. I am. My phone is fully charged. And we're ready to go. So excited about that. But Kimber, before we go, I do have one question, not from me, from someone else, and it's a parasite question. It's the same
All
person
right.
that asks me questions every week, and I'm glad to answer them from. So the question is, can a parasite affect the way you think through your nervous system? Yes or no?
So, yes, the parasite can act, it's not actually the parasite, it's the toxins that the parasite gives off, right? It's the toxins. So, they are very toxic to your body and they give off a, parasites give off a toxic waste that definitely gets into your nervous system and um, your your neurological system and definitely affects the way you think. So,
Boy,
question.
hopefully that's not what you're going through, but if it is, please contact her. Don't
Yeah.
contact me because I'll just forward you right to her. But um, I think it's great, and this topic kind of like you showed insight. Like we saw visuals over that because people think of parasites and they go, oh well, it can't be that bad. Well, you saw what happened there, and that was probably just something that's been going on for a little bit. So you never want to get to that point. You know, we're week 5, episode 5 of this, and I assume that as the views keep growing, that I'm assuming that you guys are interested in more about these in-depth conversations. So, Kimber, I'm gonna give you a choice right now.
Yes.
This isn't for next week, guys. So next week you guys had those 2 surprises, so don't worry about this. This is for the week after that, all right? So 2 weeks from now. Kimber, what do you think we should talk about? Do you think we should talk about the vagus nerve,
Mm,
or
yes.
should we talk about the large intestine?
Ooh, both are great topics. Yeah, let's go with the large intestine.
All right.
Dive into the
So
large intestine and see what the role that the large intestine has.
I want you guys right now, 2 hours from now when you get this, to dig deep, question wise. Give me topics too, because she's gonna be off from a week after this, so she's gonna be doing her own thing. So give me some things you want to know about the large intestine. Do you want to know what gets digested there? What happens in the large intestine? What could be living in the large intestine? Anything you want, shoot it to us. The sooner you get to me, the sooner I can get to her, the sooner we get this nice podcast going. If you guys give us enough information, might be a little bit longer podcast than last time. So guys, throw your thoughts out there. We've all have digestive issues or some kind of issues, so don't be afraid to ask. It's just for you guys. So we're gonna hit the large intestine in 2 weeks. You guys got your guys. Make sure you check out on Gallbladder Guru page of or I should probably post this link on there of what you need to do for this kit, the discount kit. Plus also the interview we're gonna be having with her friend who's an acupuncture nutritionist for 20 years. Tracy is her name, right?
Um, Tara.
Tara, if you're watching, I apologize. So Tara will be there too. So guys, a lot of good content coming out in the next week for you guys. Very exciting to be working with Kimber on these podcast shows for you guys. It's nice to help create this, but also help learn on the go. And it's very beneficial. So any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. And if you are looking for her, there are links in the description. Click on it. Free 30-minute podcast, the free 30-minute consultation. You know what? You never know. You could be the one that has a parasite that doesn't know. Don't let it grow to be something worse like that picture we saw there. Take care now. You own your own body. It's your own life. Your one true home. And take care of it because that's what we're here about. We're here to take care of it. You have the tools to do it. We're here to help you out. Don't wait. Just do it. So,
Right.
Amber, do you have any final thoughts of what about the parasites or anything going on?
Well, again, it's either you or the person next to you that has a parasite. But the bottom line is you have a pulse, you have a parasite. So if it's wreaking havoc, and maybe it's not this time that you reach out and join the Parasite Cleanse Challenge over the full moon. Maybe you wait and watch and see if your symptoms increase over this full moon. And then you'll be reaching out afterwards to me and saying, hey, I need to get together because I'm pretty sure I have parasites and I want to get them out.
Yeah. And one last thing actually just hit me as I was just about done with this is we, as in Buddy, myself, and Kimber, are gonna do maybe once a month. We're trying to do once a month a live Q&A.
Yep.
Q&A. And it's gonna be about anything you want to talk about, any questions you ask us within that hour, and we'll answer them. So I will have future dates with them. I'm gonna talk to Kimber and Buddy about that. So hang tight right now. Be suspenseful. That's good. I like to see that. So Kimber, this is a great episode. We're halfway through your first season. It's fantastic. It's great. So guys, extra content next week. We're also gonna have larger testing 2 weeks from now. So make sure you guys have your questions, build them up, let me know. I will put them in the show. So Kimber, this is Lifetime Remedy for Health, helping you and helping others. And we will see you guys next week with the content.
All right. Bye, everybody.